night, acrimony over access.
That's no obstruction at all.
You're obstructing this driveway.
I'm obstructing that driveway. Look at this way, boss. There's nobody goes on that part.
And a dispute over decibels.
But she said it said banging music. Like totally banging, bang, bang, bang.
It was like somebody with a drum above your head all the time.
Today, with modern technology so affordable, it's not surprising that noise nuisance is becoming an all too frequent cause of disharmony between neighbours.
That's all I ever wanted, was that bass to be turned down, because it was like somebody with a drum above your head all the time.
But she said it said banging music. Like totally banging, bang, bang, bang. Oh, don't play that kind of music. It does me head in.
On the King's Home estate in Gloucester, it's clear the residents take pride from living in a well-kept, friendly neighbourhood. The estate was built in 1972. Soon after, 74-year-old Irene Davis and her family moved in. Back then, the conditions for tenancy were strict.
We had to be vetted to get this flat through the council. As soon as we walked in, the atmosphere was really lovely, so we knew it was ideal what we wanted.
It proved a happy family home. But 2.5 years ago, Irene's husband died. In her grief, she went to stay with her daughter for a while. A few weeks later, she returned home to a noisy welcome.
As we came across the square in the front, she said, "Gosh, Mum, what's that?" We got in here and she said, "Oh, it's coming from upstairs." And we realised somebody had moved in while I was away.
That somebody upstairs was 21-year-old Mark Green, a new tenant on an estate of predominantly elderly people.
I thought, nice area, quiet place. And it just turned out to be moaning old neighbours all the time. Just people moaning about nothing, blaming me for stuff what wasn't me. Like, for instance, motorbikes downstairs, they ain't mine, I get the blame. All sorts of chucking stuff out the window. I don't chuck nothing out the window. That's how it started. Then it went on to music.
I've gone to bed and put earplugs in to stop my hearing them, and I could still hear it. I've stuffed cotton wool in my ears. I put pillows over my head and all to try and get a bit of peace in the bedroom. And it used to go on some morning times till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I could hear it above my television, and then they started taking the sound up and down, and I was sat with the patrol, turning my television up and down like that. You never know what was going to happen next. It was like living on a knife edge all the time.
After a few weeks, Irene decided it was time for her voice to be heard. She approached the chairman of the Tenants Association, Andrew Harley. For the local council to institute legal action against the tenant, the source of the noise and evidence of continued nuisance have to be confirmed by another witness.
If I was playing my music loud, he'd have heard it from the office. He said he'd come over and he had to listen to it at my front door. I was thinking, fair enough, it's at my front door. You banged your ear if you stood next to my front door.
Over the following months, Andrew Harley encouraged Irene to keep a log detailing each and every incident of noise disturbance and how they affected her. Armed with this, the council took Mark to court for 3 separate breaches of a noise nuisance notice. But he didn't turn up to face the music.
What am I going to court for? I ain't done nothing wrong. I didn't even have a stereo at the time then. And so I thought, stuff it. I ain't going.
The magistrates fined him £6,000 plus a further £1,000 in court costs.
Then I thought, I I ain't paying that. Now, like 4 or 5 weeks after that, I got arrested. I went up in front of the courts and they said, well, you going to pay it? I said, no, I ain't paying that. Send me to prison. Because I ain't going to pay your fine.
Although the £1,000 court cost bill still stands, Mark's unemployed status meant that the £6,000 fine was deemed irrecoverable and was completely written off.
To think I'd put up with nearly 2 years of this, and he just got away with it. It meant that anybody could do anything and just not be punished. I wouldn't have minded if it had been reduced. I know he's not working and that. If it had been reduced, it wouldn't have been so bad. But to just have the whole lot squashed like that, I think was terrible.
However, the council decided that the situation couldn't continue. In November 1998, it won a court order to evict Mark Green for noise nuisance and rent arrears. Judging by the state of his flat, Mark didn't go quietly. For the time being, Irene Davis can enjoy some peace and quiet.